Conor Gallagher has been linked to a move away from Chelsea to Bayern Munich this time.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that Conor Gallagher leaves Chelsea between now and Friday, but no more than that. I think the asking price, which we understand at talkSPORT, is £50 million, has already put off quite a few suitors this summer. And I don't think he's a player that Pochettino is actively trying to force out the door. He's obviously played a lot of football so far this season. I find Thomas Tuchel's approach to this summer transfer window really intriguing because he's been after so many Premier League players, and there's definitely been a conversation between Bayern and Chelsea, and it's very much been driven by Thomas Tuchel. One to keep an eye on, Conor Gallagher, between now and Friday night.
Alex Iwobi, Everton to Fulham.
Yeah, I think this has got legs. Iwobi's only got a year left on his contract. I think Everton obviously are trying to give Sean Dyche the resources to rebuild the squad if they can sell Iwobi. I think they're open to doing that. Talks have taken place. There is rumours of another Premier League club also interested in Iwobi, but I think at the moment Fulham would be the front runners. I spoke to Marco Silva after Fulham's brilliant draw at Arsenal at the weekend. Really enjoyed that. And he was saying they need players in every position. So obviously they've been busy with Castagna. They've got bids in for various strikers, and they're certainly in the market for Iwobi as well.
Jed Spence, Spurs to Leeds. Would this be a loan deal? I know nothing about this, but I just feel he's not really had a chance at all at Spurs.
No, it would be a loan deal, and I guess in some ways it's going back to where it all started so well for Jed Spence. He was brilliant for Nottingham Forest on loan as they won promotion to the Premier League, went back to Middlesbrough, they didn't fancy him, was sold to Tottenham. Antonio Conte made it pretty clear right from the off that he didn't fancy him either. He's only played 4 Premier League games at Spurs, so I think this could be a good move to try and reignite his career. Big club in the Championship, Leeds. It'll be £1 million loan fee. And then hopefully from Jed Spence's point of view, he'll be able to go back to Spurs and have some first-team football behind him.
Cricket, Arsenal expecting a lot of players to leave the football club this window?
Yeah, Rob Holding, certainly one of those. Keep an eye on him this week. There's interest from Spain, there's interest from Turkey, and there's interest a bit closer to home from Luton as well. And I think that'd be a good move for Luton because they've signed a lot of players this summer who really are proven in the Championship. And I think it's almost with one eye on relegation, thinking that if we go down, we're going to have a stronger team next season than the one that brought us up. But Rob Holding does bring a little bit of Premier League experience. They were looking at Isaac Hayden on loan as well from Newcastle. He'd been given permission to undergo a medical. I'm told that move is now off. So that would free up space to sign Rob Holding because you're only allowed 2 domestic loans.
Let me ask you about Brennan Johnson. I read a few reports this morning suggesting that Spurs were well and truly in the driving seat.
Yeah, that looks like his most likely destination. I think Spurs need to get a few players off the wage bill in order to facilitate this move because it's going to cost them around £50 million. Wow. What's intriguing here is that I'm told that this negotiation with Tottenham is being led personally by the Nottingham Forest owners. So I think if they get the money in, I think they're actually quite open to doing a deal.
50 million cookie for him. I mean, listen, he's a good player, had a good season last season, although there were times Steve Cooper took him out of the team and the team still functioned. Don't you not think that's a lot of money?
I do, but you pay that premium for English players, don't you, for British players? You look at Chelsea, if they're going to sell Conor Gallagher, it's going to cost 50 million. If they're going to sell Trevor Chalobah, he's another player that Thomas Tuchel would like to take to buy, and that's going to cost 50 million. So you almost just have to accept it.
Who's the player they got in from a young kid from Southampton who's 19?
Who?
Chelsea.
From Southampton. Lavia.
Yeah, so that was 50 million, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but it's I know
58.
You're paying a premium. It's like almost like everything's 50 million now. Crazy money. Can I ask
how much would Darren Bent be worth in 2023?
Don't think you could buy him. I don't think you could buy him, Benny.
95, something like that. 95.
Maybe even 98p.
85p.
Let me ask you about Man United. I just read out their link to Rico Henry. They need to bring a left back in. Midfielder as well they need as well. And what's going on with their striker? When's Højlund going to start?
Well, he's going to be in the squad this weekend. Never mind him. What's happening to this mystery striker that you were promoting?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Hold on.
You've got a lot of people excited about that.
Cookie, it's going to come, all right? Trust me, it's happening, all right?
Okay. Højlund in the squad for Arsenal this weekend. I doubt he'll start, although I wouldn't be against it because Martial's just a waste of space, quite frankly. Rico Henry, I can't see it happening. I think Brentford will want big money and United just don't have big money. They are scouring the market for a left-back. I think Cucurella on loan is a possibility. Tagliafico, a player that Ten Hag knows well, another contender. And, of course, there have been suggestions that Pierre Højbjerg has been offered to Manchester United as well. But, again, I'm a little bit sceptical about that one at this moment in time.
And also, the latest with Harry Maguire, I understand that they talked about a loan deal, but now it's not happening to West Ham.
Yeah, Yeah, I think Manchester United have been pretty clear on that since the £30 million move to West Ham rejected. They made it clear to Maguire that it was too late in the day now for them to try and source a replacement. I think Erik Ten Hag has always made it clear to Maguire that he'd like him to stay and fight for his future. But I actually don't think there are any winners from this situation, because Harry Maguire is not going to play much football when everybody is fit, although Varane's going to be out for a few weeks, we understand. But once he gets back in the team, Lindelof's ahead of him anyway. Luke Shaw has been used as a centre-back. So in a European Championship year, Maguire is going to be feeding on scraps. Manchester United have got a very highly paid player that is really just clogging up a place on the bench, where maybe they could have recruited somebody else, one of those positions they are in need of. So I'm not sure this is ideal for anybody that Maguire is staying.
Quick, another one for you. Divock Origi, AC Milan to Burnley. That's quite an intriguing one.
It's not a path that's often been trodden in the history of football, is it? AC Milan to Burnley. But there is a connection. Vincent Kompany played alongside Origi in the Belgium national team. I think at the moment, Burnley are looking at a loan deal. AC Milan would prefer a permanent move. But again, this is one that could gather momentum between now and Friday. I think Thursday and Friday, today's been quite busy. Tomorrow will be busy. Thursday and Friday are going to be manic in this transfer window.
Okay, one more. We'll get our money's worth out of you. Cucurella also been linked to Man United. I hope I'm wrong, I understand that Man United have either submitted an amount of money or talked about a bid. Where are we at with this?
Well, I think it'd be a loan deal. That might suit all concerned. Cucurella, good player at Brighton, wasn't able to replicate that in a difficult season at Chelsea. I think Chilwell is very much the first choice left back now. Cucurella, I think, would be attracted by the move to United because it is the chance to play in the Champions League. So, again, if you're talking about those list of left-backs, I think that's much more likely than Rico Henry.
Crookie, you a star. I'll let you get back to a house full of kids. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks,
with
Crookie.
Top work as always.
Can I stay a bit longer?
No, get lost.
What, another 2 hours? Cheers, Crookie. Just your views on that last one I mentioned, Cucurella. Crookie got it bang on. He was excellent at Brighton, which is why they paid silly money. Hasn't worked at all for him at Chelsea. How would he fit in at United? Do you see it as a good move for well, obviously for him, but for the club?
I mean, it hasn't worked at Chelsea. Again, I don't know why Manchester United would try to entertain. I get it, you're desperate, you're trying to find somebody, but it just hasn't looked up to the level since he's been at Chelsea. So it surprises me. I mean, I probably would rather go Rico Henry. Young Roy can develop him into a good player. But Cucurella just hasn't shown signs. I think at times he's looked better at Chelsea when he's played that left of a three.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.